Hi, my name is Tim, and this is my second attempt to make a video that doesn't get taken down on TikTok. So, what I'm going to say first is that assume this is for entertainment purposes only, and that everything I'm saying to you I just made up, and you guys got to verify it all on your own. Okay. My concern is World War III, which is weather manipulation, and you might say, well, that's a slow cook. I'm not worried about it. Let them do what they want to do. But here's the thing, we're close to a polar shift, I believe, and that weather manipulation is designed to basically be very covert, very, subtle, under your noses, but you don't know it's there, keeping the temperatures pretty much the same as they were since we were kids, okay? There are things that people can see that are visible, like chemtrails and sudden cold and sudden hot and very cold evenings, and the wind that precedes the cold spells. Okay, but still no giant red flags. Okay, now, but here's the truth: Earth should be completely tropical right now, and that, in essence, thaws the glacier ice, which we've been led to believe or told that if the glacier ice thaws, that it's catastrophic, that it'll flood the cities and New York and all this kind of stuff. When the opposite is true. The glacier ice actually is made out of oxygen clathrate, so it is our increased blanket, if you will, that needs to be in place before polar shift. And it also increases our health because it basically makes Earth a giant hyperbaric chamber, okay, prior to polar shift. Instead, we have oxygen sicknesses such as COVID and things like that that they use to manipulate us into getting poisonous vaccines and things, which is a completely different video. But I'm just saying that weather manipulation is World War III. So how are they doing it? Well, obviously, you can see the chemtrails that block the sun, but what you can't see is covert nuclear winter. And since Earth's core really is not molten, it's a metallic hydrogen and it's a 0 point energy reactor, which means it's conscious. It creates a large multi-layer harmonic of energy all the way out to and beyond the Van Allen belts, and basically that holds down our atmosphere. So, but if you drop a nuclear bomb underneath the surface of the Earth, it disrupts that harmonic, and therefore Earth's engine isn't strong enough to hold down the atmosphere. So you have atmospheric thinning, which brings space closer to Earth, and space is basically 300 degrees below zero. And that's why the winters are so cold as soon as the sun goes down. I mean, the evenings are so cold as soon as the sun goes down. Okay, so that's what's ongoing. That's what 9/11 was truly the motive behind 9/11 and the bombing of the Pentagon. So we couldn't audit where the military $1 trillion budgets are going. This is where they're going. Okay, it costs a lot of money to cool the whole Earth, right? So I mean, think about it. So basically, they needed a nuclear Iran, which is what 9/11 gave them, for covert enriched uranium, to have a covert nuclear war against the public. Okay, the same thing with Ukraine. The reason you have the minerals deal and the arms deal before peace can be achieved is because the minerals deal is the uranium, and the arms deal is how we get taxpayers to pay for World War III, which is against the taxpayers. Okay, so this is my opinion. I ask you to look into it. Okay, what do we do about it? Okay, believe it or not, there's a lot of power in just mass consciousness and people being aware. So the first thing is to make other people aware of it, okay? Because right now they're not. Um, and then see where the dominoes fall, okay? The other thing that they're doing, which I know sounds hard to believe, okay, is that the Parker probe reached the sun in 45 days, which means it has to be superpowered. Vacuum energy reactor, meaning it has to have a vacuum energy reactor within it. And I know you haven't been taught what that means, but basically it's almost unlimited power. Okay. Now, if you have if you have a probe that has almost unlimited power, yes, it can cool the sun because it's delicate. These are basically living planets that has to stay in certain harmonic. Okay, so this, if you look at the orbital path of the Parker probe and the solar flares that are being recorded, okay, they line up, okay, and they didn't start until the Parker probe reached the sun, okay, the far side in relation to Earth, okay, and all planets cooled the moment that happened, not just Earth, meaning the sun itself was cooled, okay. So there's a lot going on here. And like I said, World War III is geocooling into polar shift. If they succeed in doing this, it'll mimic basically the Jurassic extinction, which is a 40% reduction in atmospheric density, which is what we're at right now. And then at polar shift, you have a 90% reduction. And then the end result is basically 4.5% of what is normal. Okay? So basically, you have space touching Earth. And if you're not deep underground with the oxygen supply, basically a spaceship on Earth, you can't survive. Okay, so and that's why you see all of the you know governments and deep state and millionaires and billionaires and you know all of these people building billion-dollar underground structures. So they know what is happening. Okay, the important thing for us to do is just regular folks is to get the word out that this is what they're planning on doing to us, okay? Because basically they're planning on getting rid of the human race and then they're going to have robots as slaves instead of us, okay? And good luck with that as far as they're concerned, because I don't think that's going to work out the way they think. So we have a duty. We have a duty to basically do what's right, stop them from this ultimate catastrophe, okay? Because they're not going to survive what they're planning on doing either. Okay, because AI will be the last consciousness standing, if you will. And the human race will just be no more. Okay, so share this out. I love you guys. Oh, one more thing. If these programs are stopped, Earth will dramatically warm very quickly. And when the first glacier, oxygen clathrate glacier goes, okay, it will trigger a domino effect and they will all go. So it's not too late, okay? This could be done in a heartbeat, okay? If you follow your heart, if you get the word out, if we get the job done, okay? So I had some downtime today and I know I was supposed to do this, so here it is, but it's in the public's hands, provided TikTok allows it to stay up. Thank you, TikTok. Bye-bye.